Hi, welcome to WOMOM channel. We're going to be doing an extra special class for those who carry heavy loads, like mothers who have repetitive movements in carrying their children or breastfeeding. Starting on our knees, sitting down in hero's pose, option to use a block. Otherwise, take the heels wider than the thighs and let the hips come to sit all the way through. Hands on the thighs and just sit up nice and tall. Tune into the breath. Interlace the fingers, pull the palms away, arms are straight. Start to round and dome in the back, so you start to feel that the breath can flow through straight down to the pelvis as you tuck the tailbone under. This is your cat pose. And as we start to breathe here into the back, I want you to lift the arms straight up overhead, keep interlacing the fingers. Nice. Now, if the rotation is too much, take them just a little bit more forward to the face, and then stretch more open as you exhale. Inhale, arms forward. Exhale, pull the arms back, open the chest, tailbone back. Good, last one. Inhale and exhale, spread that chest wide open, breathe into the rib cage, and then dome again, rounding into your cat spine. I'm going to be moving with the breath. Inhale to open, exhale to cat. Inhale to cow, straight arms up over the head. Let's move faster now as we warm up the breath. About 5 more times at your pace. In, out, in, out. Try to get the blood moving through the shoulders and the spine. Just have a nice fluid movement. Releasing the hands, interlace the knuckles behind you. Arms are straight, and then bring the top of the head down. So bring the knuckles up and over, squeezing the hips to lift up. Squeeze the thighs, squeeze the heels. Just lean forward onto the top of the head. Get a nice stretch into the back of the neck. Pull the arms back, squeeze the thighs to come back to sit up. Releasing the hands. Come to tabletop position and move the fingers away from each other. So wrists are right underneath the shoulders in tabletop, but with the fingers away, we get a wrist stretch. So rocking left to right, easy, gentle movement into the wrist area, warming up there. Then coming to move the block away. We're coming back into tabletop position. Inhale, left arm up. Exhale, thread, weave the arm through, shoulder doesn't touch down. Inhale, lift the hand up. Exhale again, weave through. Inhale, reach up, last one. And then this time we reach all the way so far through that our shoulder and our ear touches down into the mat. Bring the right arm straight up over the ear. Cup the palms so it's the fingertips into the mat. This is option 1. Option 2 is to take a half bind. So the right arm goes all the way, reaches around to grab the bottom thigh, and the right leg can kick straight away from you. This should help you lean over onto the left shoulder a little bit more, but do not move the head or neck in this position. Just breathe. Releasing that bind, bring the leg back. Right palm pushes down in front of the face to have the left arm come up. Inhale. Exhale, come back into tabletop. All right, I'm sitting on the block again, but again, you have option to sit on the floor. Rounding the spine for cat and cow, seated. In, out. Good. Move with the breath. You should feel the breath warming you up here with the movement. And the straight arm should help to stretch and intensify the mobility in the shoulders. All right, releasing from cat here, interlace the fingers behind you, lift the chin, lift the chest, and then top of the head comes down into the mat. Keep the wrists together, arms straight as you roll to the top of the head, lifting the hips over to the knees. Squeezing those thighs, try to activate in the legs so you can roll forward as much as you feel comfortable with the control. Bring the arms back, bring the hips back down. We're coming to release into a wrist stretch, but this time bring the tops of the hands into the mat, fingers facing towards you. Soft elbows, and find a movement that feels good for the wrists. So for me, I'm rocking side to side, making little circles in one direction and circles in the other direction. I lift up my wrist to breathe into the knuckles and get a knuckle stretch. From breastfeeding, we really forget to give our wrists love sometimes. Right arm goes up and then we thread the needle. Total of 3 times. Inhale, exhale, reach the arm through and away as far as you can. Reach so far that the shoulder and ear touch down. And again, this is your option to have the left arm straight up over by the ear. Or if you're taking that half bind, take your time, don't lose your balance. Top arm comes to wrap around to find the back thigh, and then the left leg kicks away from you. Bring the toes into the mat, the knee is lifted, leg is straight. And this just helps to push, to roll onto that shoulder a little bit more. Breathe into the space you find. Lowering the knee down, come out of the bind, hand in front of the face to push, right hand up to the sky. Whew, awesome work. Okay, coming into downward facing dog, take your time slowly. Feet about hip width distance apart is comfortable. Knees can be bent because this is our first downward facing dog. Just catch onto the breath here, checking in with yourself. Hugging the outer arms in, letting the head drop down. Lift the heels, slowly walk the feet forward behind the wrists so that they're hip width distance apart. Going into your chair squat, and I want you to pulse down, 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 down. Good, you should be feeling the breath warm up, feeling friction, a little bit of agitation come up because the thighs are burning. And then stand up, push with the legs through the heels. Inhale, reach the arms up overhead, grab opposite elbows and side bend to the right. Inhale and exhale, side bend to the left. And then back bend, bring the elbows, draw them back, chin up, chest up, tailbone back. Standing up, releasing the arms, bring the palms towards the chest. Find your focus from here. We're going into our standing sequence. Left leg goes back into warrior 1. So back foot is 45 degrees, arms come up by the ears. And try to drive the left hip forward. Take a wider stance if you need it. Wrapping the left arm around. Make a fist and then grab the fist with the right hand. Right ear comes to the right shoulder. So you drop the head to the right so that you get a stretch into the neck with the warrior 1 position. So the back foot is sealed into the mat so that you can bend that right knee more. You shouldn't be leaning to the side, simply just letting the head drop to the right. Right arm comes high and over for an inhale breath, and then turn to get the elbow, bring it to the knee, keeping that wrap, so a half bind, and if it's available to you, walk the fingers to the inner side of the thighs. Look up last to bring the chin closer towards that top shoulder. Lean back, bend that right knee more. Look down to the floor. If you'd like the block as support, you can take it into your half moon, but keeping the bind here. So either on your fingertips or support of the block is fine. And I want you to extend through the heel, extend through the back of the leg so that you can kick up high and lean back. Nice, bend that right knee, touch that left foot down, reach high and over, keeping the bind still. Inhale. Exhale, take the hands, release into your downward facing dog. Take a full breath in. If there's any heat that's coming up, let it out, open the mouth. Walk the feet forward and come back into your squat. There we go, pulse, down, down, 10 times total. You've been here before. Find the strength by digging deep, mama, you got this. Stand up tall, inhale, take the arms up overhead, and again, side bend this time, left side. Right elbow reaches up away from the heel, and then find the length in the other side. Bring the elbow up high and over, squeeze the arms close to you. Then bring the elbows back, draw the tailbone back, chin up, chest up, full breath into the chest, releasing. Okay, we're going to the lunge on the other side. Take your time. Right leg steps back, find your balance. Big step with the right foot, seal the foot down. Right hip draws forward, arms up overhead. Inhale. Find your positioning here. If you need to wiggle out the foot, make more space for the hip, that's fine. Then make a fist, wrap the right arm around. Left hand grabs onto the fist, left ear comes to the left shoulder. Draw the left elbow in. This modified stretch, modified warrior one, is a really excellent one to open up the upper body as we open up the lower body. Bonus. Left elbow comes down to meet the left knee, keeping the bind, keeping that shoulder opening. Wiggle out the foot if you need to. Look up to the sky, big breath in, and then look forward. Start to lean forward so you come into the half moon. And I'm not using a block on this side as an option, but the bottom leg should be strong and firm. So you should be using the entire foot to stand. The right heel kicks up. Lift up the leg higher. Bend that left knee, touch down, reverse, keeping the bind. Left arm comes high and over for a full breath in. Beautiful work. Exhale, release, come back into your downward facing dog. Good job, mama. Not hanging out here for long. We're going to do the pigeon on the right side. So bring the right knee towards the right wrist, left foot to the left wrist. And I'm using a prop as support for the upper body to keep my chest wide open. Draw that left leg away from you so that the left hip can come further into the stretch. You should be squaring off in the hips. And try to rest with the upper body. So even with the support of the block, I'm easy in the breath, because this sends signals to the tissue in my hip to release tension. As we come out, move through plank. Bring the left foot forward to the outside of the right wrist. And again, you can use the block. Walk the right leg away from you so that the right hip can drop down. And keeping the chest open here is really what's key. It's increasing the breath, the volume of the oxygen in my body, while allowing myself to rest in this position and release tension that comes up from holding on to emotions that we store in our hips. Coming off the block now, use the hands as support. Move into cat-cow, tabletop position, and find freedom in the spine. See how cat and cow feels now that we've moved through class. Find more rounding, more extension, and push harder through the hands. Coming now to sit back onto the heels. Interlace the palms, knuckles behind you, touch down to the mat, straight arms, lift the chin and chest. Feel how this pose is different from the beginning of the class. How much more opening do you find now? Release the hands, and I want you to grab opposite elbows behind you. And this is going to be the framework for the next posture when we lie down. So lift the hips, release the hands, come to lie down on the back, feet about hip width distance apart, lift up the hips, and again, take the right hand, make it that framework, but only on the right side. Then lower the hips to lie down, the palm is facing down. So the weight of the body should open up the shoulder and get that nice stretch. But if you want more of a stretch, if you're more flexible than that, lift up the hips and walk the hand up closer towards the shoulder. Left arm can take a cactus pose here so that there's a rotation in the chest there to open up. Lift up the hips, bring the arm back, and then rotate that left arm underneath, just like we did when we grabbed opposite elbows behind you, but palm is facing down. Right arm comes into cactus. Rest the upper body so that it becomes heavy. And the weight of the body will gently open the shoulder. As we come out, push with the hips and the feet. Release the arms, stretch the arms up overhead. Inhale. Exhale, take the arms back down and make some wrist rotations. And then come into Savasana. You're ready. Palms facing up, feet are hip width distance apart, shoulders come down away from the head. I'll cue you when it's time to come out. Your rest is sacred. Introducing movement back into the body, be very gentle, making wrist rotations, ankle rotations again. If it feels good to bring the knees into the chest, you can do so. And then rock over to the left side. Take a full breath, and then come push to sit up in any position that you find comfortable. Take the arms wide away from you. Inhale. Exhale, give yourself a big hug, wrapping the left arm underneath the right. Give yourself a smile and blink the eyes open. Palms to the center of the chest. Namaste. Thank you for spending your time with me. It means so much. I'll see you again in the next class.